Friday night, another large group brawled at the 31st Street beach, setting a car on fire.
I'm a part of what I see. I'm from Chicago, and I understand kids having a good time, but this is simply bad parenting. We have to do better as parents. Our kids should not be out here. Where are their parents at? That's my question.
Someone has had a child that has been a part of one of these things.
Me? You're talking about my second born. But
what?
She was over 18. I mean, I don't have to keep tabs on her all the time. And I wasn't happy when I found out she was down there by the riots.
So the point is, if I was that age, I probably would have been down there also if I was in that city. And I wouldn't have been down there doing any malice or anything like that. But just because being around everyone else, I would have been down there. The problem is, though, is that you have a percentage of the kids down there that do mess up stuff and do tear up stuff and things like that. So the way that we found out about her daughter being a part of one of these is that we were sitting in the bed and we were watching TV one night. And we were watching this stuff go on where they were tearing up our city one night. And when I say they, it was, I don't even know, it was a mixture of people that were down there and they were just tearing up stuff. But as we're sitting in the bed, it dawned on us that nobody's here in the house.
Yeah, because we were watching TV and we're like, where are these kids' parents? Like, do these parents even know where their kids are?
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait a second, where are my kids?
Called and checked, and the one that we were assuming that would be down there wasn't down there. The next day, the kids came over, all the other kids came over.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting here, it was like, oh, did you see what happened last night? And then one of them was like, yeah, it was crazy. He was like, they were shooting at us down there? And yet, what?
She said, this canister went flying right in front of my face. I was like, wait, what? What do you mean right in front of your face? She's like, oh, yeah, we were down there.
She's in her late 20s. The point that I'm saying is this. Sometimes parents don't know that their kids are out down there doing stuff like this. We have been guilty of that, unfortunately. It's her kids, not my kids. That was her kids. But
your kids are younger. Let's give it a few years.
You would think that your kids wouldn't be doing that. And then you're watching things on TV, and I'm pretty sure there were some parents sitting there watching the thing on, and then it didn't dawn on them is that my kid could possibly be down there. And then by the time they're down there and you're trying to call them, you know they can't hear cell phones or anything while they're down there. And so I think there needs to be a talk to kids before things like this happen. Because we have been a victim of finding out after the fact that yes, we have had a kid and they weren't down there doing anything bad or anything.
They were curious and they didn't realize like what could happen. They don't realize that you can be shot. They don't realize, guilty by association. They could have been picked up.
They thought they were going to be picked up because they got cornered. They got pitted. They got pitted in the crowd.
They started spraying
They started spraying them. They started spraying them along with everyone else.
And then she became one of them.
Hostile. She's a little hostile.
She is.
This was the scene at Michigan and Washington last evening. Police making 15 arrests during a massive disturbance in the area of Millennium Park. A 16 and 17-year-old were shot as others jumped on cars, smashing windows.
If not for my age, I probably would have been just being curious down at one of those things just to see what was going on with a couple of my other friends. But the problem is that you're guilty by association at that point in time, because whatever happens down there and whatever bad could happen, you are a part of that. And I think that us as parents sometimes is that unfortunately we don't think a couple steps out. And like I said, we're guilty of that because we didn't think the teenager is the one we thought that would be down there, and it turned out the late 20-year-old was down there. And now it just rings something. It's like if we think something's gonna go on, it's like you need to start calling and checking on people. Now the thing is, they're not going down there anymore because if they happen to drop the newborn off, it's like, where are you going?
Yeah.
In a statement, incoming Mayor Brandon Johnson said, "It is unacceptable and has no place in our city. However, it is not constructive to demonize youth who've otherwise been starved of opportunities in their own communities."
The part that I don't agree with is that it's not that people have been starved of opportunities in their communities. Honestly, these are just teens. These are things that we did when we were young. And the older generation tries to say that, we didn't act like this. But I give you a good example. There's a thing called Freaknik, and they're about to put out a new tape about that. And that has a lot of people worried about that. A lot of people in their 40s and 50s. The thing is, you guys did the same thing, and we did the same thing. But the difference is now is that there's cell phones. And so people can congregate a whole lot quicker because of the cell phones. If we had cell phones back in the day, a lot of y'all that have these professional jobs right now, your business will be out there all over the street.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot says her office has been having conversations with Chicago police about monitoring and responding to the gatherings, saying we as a city cannot and will not allow any of our public spaces to become a platform for criminal conduct. CPD has assured me they will make the necessary adjustments to address these teen trend issues as we move into the summer months. Other elected officials are questioning the parents. Third Ward Alderman Pat Dowell tweeting, "No other community abdicates parental responsibility for their children. None. Until parents collectively take back control of their homes, nothing will change."
I think a lot of these things turn bad just because of parents not having talks with their kids earlier. And sometimes parents don't have talks with the kids until it's too late. I mean, if they're over 16 or whatnot, they have their own car or whatever the driving, age is there. And they're going wherever they want to. Once they leave your site, you don't know where your kid is. Right. I've been put in some bad situations at 17 and at 18. Look, I've been riding with people in the back of cars, and I didn't know they had guns in the car until they started shooting. I've been in those situations. There are some kids out there that don't have proper parenting. And do you want your kids being around kids that don't have proper parenting? Because that's a recipe for disaster.
Our communities look like they look. That we have violence every single day.
Speak the truth.
It is just not on us. It is on the corporate citizens that come into our community and ravage our community. And Walmart, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves. You are the reason that our communities lack the investment that they have. We should not have to go out of our communities to find jobs. We should not have to go out of our communities to get medicine.
I know that some of the politicians and some of the people will blame, the businesses for leaving when there are situations like this where their stores get looted and their windows are broken and things like that. We have a storefront business. If I owned a business that was downtown and this has happened a couple times, my store has been looted and things like that. To be honest with you, I think if I had the chance or the opportunity to move somewhere else or to just shut up shop, I might shut up shop because this is a pain. This is not a conducive atmosphere of doing business in. The small percentage of the people that do this in the community and that do these things, they need to be policed and they need to be taken care of. And the thing is that if other parents have talks with their kids and they tell their kids not to go down there and enforce their kids, the ones that do have proper parenting, not to go down there, it could just honestly single out the bad apples and honestly lock up all these bad apples that are tearing up stuff. And I'm speaking on the side of someone that has had their windows broken and things like that. And honestly, that's not fun.
I agree with the businesses closing because the people like Walmart and stuff, the people that own the company, they're not there. And you don't want your employees there. No. Because something can happen to them. You have to protect your employees.
And I'm not speaking as a saint because honestly, there's quite a few mailboxes that have laid on the ground because of me and a couple of my friends with baseball bats.
Baseball practice.
Cars. If you're going to protest something, there's a way you go about protesting things. Once the sun goes down, honestly, even if my kids want to go out and protest, like, look, you need to get your little ass out and down there once the sun goes down because that's not a protest at that point in time. Peaceful, perfectly fine. Once the sun goes down, take your ass home or bring your ass here. There's too many asses, isn't it? I'm going to bleep one of them out.